Have you ever tried painting a face in watercolor? Well, today I did just that. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're diving into my attempt at a hauntingly expressive face. Did I nail it or did I fail it? I'll let you be the judge. So let's get into the highs and lows and all the real moments behind capturing this spooky expression. And I want you to stick around, if you can, to the end to see if I pulled it off. And feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. All right, first let's start out with a sketch. Now, I do have to tell you this. I did not look at anything while I was sketching this or painting this. This is pure imagination. I sound like Willy Wonka. I did, however, see someone post a picture and I loved it. I was like, oh, it looks so easy. Like we could do that. There's just a little bit of color in there. And this is the picture. I'm not sure who the artist is, so I apologize for not giving them credit for it, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I love the way that they did the pen and ink in there as well. So it's like a scribble very loose, right? So I'm just sketching in my own little face, and I am not a people painter. And if you watched my October challenge, and I will post a link here for you guys if you want to check that one out, we did people all month long in October. And we did like tiny people and little images. So this is the first time really I'm attempting to do a face, and I'm trying to do this quick. This is not like a portrait that I'm spending a ton of time on. This is a fast kind of sketch and see what can you do. What is going to happen here? I have the face shape, it looked way too masculine. It's like I needed to thin that out a little bit. And I'm like, boy, that's not a real great looking face right now. I cannot get the lips to save my life. And the eyes look like it's perfect for Halloween, right? They look spooky. And I paint them purple. I'll just let you know that ahead of time. I've tried to add some eyelashes. Let's try to work these lips again a little bit more. Now, I couldn't get the angle without looking at something. I couldn't tell why I was off. I've not had a lot of practice with faces, so that's probably a reason why. I did one of Marilyn Monroe many, many years ago, and it took me forever. And I mean forever. And it was actually in pastels. And even that one, I struggled with the lips again there. So lips are my nemesis. They actually look not too bad right here. They're a little bit larger, and I couldn't get the nose angle right. Like it was like, would I see the other nostril or would I not? The eyes are way too close together and probably a little bit too big. So I erased that again and I retry to sketch it here. She looks like she's looking a little bit better. I'm like, well, okay, we're sort of getting there. But again, not bad for a quick sketch, right? Bringing in those eyes. Oh, you do want to make sure that you bring the eyelids down. I remember that, like over the pupil, because you don't actually see all of your eye. And then she went a little wonky here. I was trying to because she's got her head slightly turned. I should have just done like a straight on face, but no, I didn't. I did it like sideways in an angle. And then I'm like, where's the neck? Was the neck over here? Like her neck is off. Sort of make that the hair. Her face still looked a little bit too big. I did want to give her a little bit of a cheekbone there. Again, I got to practice. This is fun though. I mean, it is a challenge. Like I said, I'm not a people painter. I do portraits. I do pet portraits and stuff. But I've always stayed away from doing people. And I know it's going to take me a long time because I've really got to get the drawing down. And again, this is just a sketch and I'm not looking at anything. So that makes it really tough. I had to pick it up again because I'm looking down at it. It's like, well, how bad is this? She's looking pretty here. And then I started to paint. All right. So coming up next, I tackle those tricky little facial shadows and the highlights. And it's kind of a make or break time for the expression. So you're going to see me experiment with blending the color to kind of create the right mood. Plus, I'm going to share some techniques I use when things didn't go quite as planned. So hang tight and just let me know if you've tried any of these tips yourself or if you've tried painting people before. Okay, so I'm starting with that nice light wash. I try to use my not my pinks, but my reds and my yellows to kind of make a nice flesh tone. I know I want it light at first, so I add a little bit of water, kind of lighten it up, scrubbing it out. She gets super orange. like a Oompa Loompa orange coming up. I just couldn't help myself. I ended up adding some other colors to her because I just couldn't stand it. So again, I'm like, oh, whoops, that's a brown. That's way too dark. She looks like she's got a bruise going on now. So let's add some purple to it, really make it look like a bruise. I'm trying to get in those darker shades. Like they made it look so easy in that picture. She had all these little colors in there and I'm like, oh, and I don't even know where the shadows are at this point because I'm not looking at anything again. And I haven't studied faces. I don't know where the shadows would be. I'm trying just to do this from like guessing. Like where would it be? I know she'd have some blush on. If she was me, she'd have some little pink highlights on her cheeks. And I was like, okay, well, other than that bright yellow, it's not too bad right here. So let's add a little bit more pink, maybe on the lips, the nose. Those lips are still off, but that's all right. So we'll just dive into some violet colored eyes. I wanted blue and they end up getting a very purple. And that's kind of where I was going for, I guess, a Halloween vibe. And I do have this, I call it the girl in the window. And you've probably seen it if you've watched any of my other videos because I'm obsessed with her. I even have her backlit so you can see her from the front of our house at night. I even went out and bought special little lights that I could post, put it behind them to glow. So I think I must have been what I was looking at when I was doing this or thinking about it or something, because I mean, she is right here in my room on the other side. So, I mean, I can't really see her, but I know she's there and she's creepy. So she's actually in like a black and white. So I don't know why purple, but I guess because I have purple lights on outside or kind of this pink magenta light. So it reflects. So I'm adding some purplish brown, real messy color. It was just kind of a whatever I had on my palette here. I'm just trying to clean my palette up, I think. So at this point, it's like, whoa, what a mess. So let's go with some deeper purple. Let's just see if we can do anything with this. Okay, they talk about the ugly stage, right? As artists, we all have that ugly stage. And I am there 100%. I decided to put some hot pink lips on her. Then I'm like, well, let's add a little purple to dull that down a little bit. Looking for those nostrils again. And her eyes, this is all really wet. She does need some eyebrows. Her eyebrows go crazy, by the way. That's coming up too. So I'm still trying to add the shadows. And I'm like, I need to dry this at this point. Like, I need to step back. So I did dry it. It didn't take much time to step away, and I went right back into those where those shadows might be. And I know that they'd be under the chin. I know they'd be by the lips, under the nostrils. And I'm still trying to get the lip shape right. And I'm deepening the eye color, trying to get it's starting to look a little bit better. You can see when you add some of those darker values in there, things start to kind of come to life rather than having all of those real soft features. So I decided at this point to get my G4 pen out, create some eyelashes on here, and I'm going to start that little scribbling thing. And I just liked the design of it. I think it's just fun. Again, it's very loose, and I can kind of reshape some of the areas. Now, I wasn't 100% keen on the looseness of the painting where I stopped. And I am going to go back in and add even more darker values. And I'm not sure if I should have stopped at that point or not, but too late now, I didn't. So I'm going to go back in with some darker values. And this is where she became an Oompa Loompa for a few minutes here. I got really the wrong color, way too dark. I'm adding the purple again. I'm trying to get the shadows in at this point. And you will see here in a second where I add the orange. But the nice thing is, because it was so wet, here I've got some brown in here. I'm trying to make the eyes a little bit more purple. But you can lift the paint out by using just a paper towel. And while it's still wet, you can lift out some of that color. So I was just trying to do something with the orange. I added a little bit of teal, which I thought was kind of cool. And I was like, okay, this is getting really, really dark and I'm losing a lot of the details. This is when I took the paper towel and just lifted up most of that. And it pretty much came right back to where it was. And finally, I was like, okay, we missed some highlights after all of that orange and green. So let's go ahead with some bleed proof white and give her a little bit more highlights. You can see how big her eyebrows got. And again, I'm having fun at this point because it doesn't really matter. I'm just like, whoa, okay, well, let's add a little highlight here, a little highlight there. Let's add a little bit of white to her eyes to make them sparkle a little bit more. And you know, this whole process has been super fun because it's just an attempt. It's an attempt at this face, and it definitely had a few twists and turns along the way. And you know, thanks for sticking with me through the whole process. And remember, if you want the full length version, you can check it out on my Patreon. I don't know who that is. I wonder if I'll look back at this and go, oh, it looks like so and so. Maybe, maybe not. Bye.